Oh my gosh, I'm over the moon. I'm super happy, taking it all in right now. And yeah, just pure.
She dropped to the ground, and for a second, the whole stadium seemed to hold its breath with her. Eala had just won her first WTA 500 title, and the moment she hit that final winning shot, something inside her simply broke open. I was so nervous, and I kind of just blacked out, she admitted afterward, still catching her breath, still trying to process what had just happened. Everything came rushing to me. I was really trying to channel those nerves into hitting good balls and moving my feet. A huge burst of emotion, she called it. And honestly, watching it unfold, it's hard to imagine it being anything less. But to understand that moment on the ground, you have to rewind almost 24 hours. This wasn't a normal final. The weather had other plans. Rain delays pushed the match, forced a pause, forced everyone, players, fans, broadcasters, to simply wait. Eala had warmed up more times than she could count, her routine interrupted again and again by unpredictable swings in the sky. She later said it wasn't even new to her. Rain delays had shown up throughout her career before. This one just happened to arrive with far higher stakes attached. What made it stranger was how split the match itself felt. Before the delay, one version of Eala was on court. After it, a completely different one showed up. She described taking that pause as a chance to reset, to study what had gone wrong in the first half, and to walk back out with those lessons already applied. It worked. The second half looked like a different match entirely, played by a player who had figured something out during the wait. And then there were the fans. Somehow, even with the tournament stretching into a Monday finish, the crowd only grew louder, more present, more unmistakably behind her. She said she hadn't expected it, that she was pleasantly surprised by how many people showed up for the resumption. But she also made sure to acknowledge the ones who weren't physically there. The fans back home, she said, had stayed up, sacrificed sleep, just to watch this final reach its ending. That kind of loyalty clearly meant something to her. She thanked them directly, hoping they felt like it was worth it. Here's the part that makes this win hit even harder. This wasn't just any 500-level title. Look at who stood across the net from her throughout the week. An Olympic gold medalist. The defending champion. Seeds ranked 1, 2, and 3. Each one a legitimate obstacle. Each one beaten in order. Ask any player on tour and they'll tell you a draw like that isn't just difficult. It's the kind of gauntlet that tests whether you actually belong at that level. Eala clearly understood the weight of what she'd done. She talked about walking into the tournament already aware the competition would be brutal, already bracing for a tough road. Every single match, she said, brought its own separate set of problems to solve. And she solved them, one after another, until there was nothing left standing between her and the trophy. What's striking is how she framed the achievement itself. Not as something owed to anyone else, not as a statement, but as something deeply personal. She said it plainly, this was for herself first. Years of work, quietly stacking up, suddenly cashing out in one trophy she hadn't even imagined lifting just days earlier. She admitted that at the start of the week, she wouldn't have predicted this outcome. Even earlier in the year, a moment like this would have felt distant. But that's often how breakthroughs work. They creep up quietly until suddenly they're impossible to ignore. There's also a bigger picture attached to this win, one that goes beyond her individual story. It carries historical weight too, tied to her country, to representation, to a wave of support that clearly reached across borders. She was asked directly how she balances celebrating something so personal while knowing it means so much to so many other people. Her answer wasn't complicated. She simply said she holds both truths close at the same time. The personal pride and the shared meaning aren't in conflict for her. They exist together. Beyond the emotion of the moment, there's a practical layer to this win too. Eala pointed out that facing this caliber of opponent repeatedly, across multiple matches, builds something you can't fake your way into. Experience. Court time at the highest level. She described it almost like training under real pressure, the kind that sharpens instincts faster than any practice session could. Spend enough hours in that zone, she said, and the results start compounding. Consistency improves. Confidence solidifies. And crucially, She left the tournament feeling like she was playing better tennis by the final than she had been at the very start of the week, which is exactly the trajectory any competitor wants heading into what comes next. So where does this leave her going forward? If her own words are anything to go by, this title isn't the finish line. It's fuel. Another data point in a growing pattern of high-stakes matches against elite competition, another set of lessons banked for the next time the stakes get this high again. For now, though, there's still that image everyone will remember. A young player collapsing to the court, overwhelmed, blacked out for a second by pure emotion, surrounded by fans who waited hours, some of them an entire ocean away, just to watch her get there. That's the story behind the trophy. Not just the scoreline, not just the seed she beat, but the 24 hours of rain delays, second-half adjustments, and quiet self-belief that made this first major title feel less like a surprise and more like something that had been building all along.